Hi guys, I'm Karis Johns, marriage and family therapist, and I saw something really cute on the internet and now I want to talk about it. And maybe you've seen this reel too. It's this most adorable husband and he's telling the camera, "Hey guys, guess what? This is how you make your wife decide on lunch." And then the wife gets in the car and she sits down. She looks at her husband and he says, "Guess where I'm taking you for lunch?" And she looks at him and she says, "My favorite restaurant?" And he says, "You know it." It's just really cute. It's a little bit of trickery, right? On the part of the husband. And I think that's the part that I want to talk about. Because the husband had to do something kind of clever. He had to circumvent his wife's knee-jerk reflexive response to put other people's preferences and wishes before her own. And if you're married, if you happen to know a woman, a wife, a mother, maybe you have a sister or a daughter or a grandma, if you know a woman, chances are you understand this dynamic very well. Am I right or am I right? It's kind of impossible to get a woman to decide on something like lunch. But did you ever stop and put those two things together? Her inability to make a choice on lunch and her inability to really stop for a moment and think through, first and foremost, what does she want? What is her preference? What does she desire? So I love this quality. I love this quality so much. It's selflessness, right? And it's so beautiful when... Hi guys, I'm Karis Johns, licensed marriage and family therapist, and I saw something cute on the internet and I want to talk about it. And maybe you've seen this reel too. There's a husband and he's in his car and he looks at the camera and he says, "All right, check this out. I'm going to show you how to get your wife to pick lunch." And then she gets in the car, his wife, and he's like, "Guess where I'm taking you?" She looks at him. She rattles off the name of her favorite restaurant. Da 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 da. And he's like, "Yup." It's just the cutest thing I ever saw. And especially as a marriage and family therapist, I want to say I love the skillful ninja-like way that this husband has circumnavigated his wife's nonsense, right? Because we all know women can't make up their mind about where they want to eat lunch. So I want to talk about why that is and why it was such a beautiful gesture that the husband did to get around that. And if you have a woman in your life, chances are you already know this dynamic very well. We just can't make up our mind on where we want to go eat. But why? Have you ever wondered what's up with that? What's actually up with that? It's because we're selfless. It's because wives and moms, we put everybody else's preferences, needs, desires, wishes first before our own. And we do that so succinctly that we do it seamlessly, in fact, without even thinking about it at all. It's something of a knee-jerk reflex response. When asked a question about a preference, we immediately go through the file catalog of other people and what they may want or prefer before we ever get back to our own needs and preferences. It's just our way. It's just a part of the way that women, I believe, in our culture show up in relationships. And I don't want to knock it either, because I think it's absolutely beautiful. And it really gets to exist in its most illuminated and enlightened form when a woman like that is partnered up with somebody who's clever, like this husband in the reel, and who's found a way to get around that. He's found himself a workaround. I just love that. And I'm going to tell you something about the most successful relationships that I've ever seen and the quality that they possess. It's a competition. And I know you've probably heard that we're not supposed to compete in our relationships, right? I know. But I'm going to tell you how to do it in a healthy way. If we can start making our relationships a competition of generosity, that's the way to do it. And that's the way the most successful couples I've seen have managed to make it happen. They just out-compete with one another to be generous to the other. And that's the spirit of love. It really, truly is. And that's where miracles can happen, honestly. When your love is that kind of territory, miracles can happen in the span of it. So I challenge you, not just because it's Valentine's Day around the corner, but just because. Are there ways that you can show up in a more generous light in your relationship? And what would it look like? What would it feel like if you made it a competition of generosity between you and your beloved? Could be pretty great, right? I agree. Thanks, guys.